people who are in a state of disease. Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 902 of the Immigration Answer Show. How's everybody doing? What's going on in your neck of the woods? Happy to be here with all of you. I will be here for the next hour and a half or so, trying to answer as many immigration law related questions as I can. Please bear with me. I am a one-man show today. No Hooli to help me. But I will do my best as I watch the Jets prepare to lose to your Pittsburgh Steelers. The Jets are up by 1. There's 2 minutes left. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are driving. They're probably going to run out the clock, kick a field goal, and we'll start our season 0-1 like the Jets always do. How are you doing? Are you watching football? Are you watching soccer? Are you watching baseball? What are you doing? You doing anything fun today on Sunday? We had a really nice weekend. We went up to Chicago and moved our son Yusuf into Chicago. He's getting ready to start law school in a couple weeks. So we got him his apartment, and man, was I tired. I was sitting on the floor putting together IKEA donk for the entire weekend. So it was pretty rough. Oh, nice tackle. It's 3rd and 8, if you're wondering. Oh, Robin's rooting for the Steelers, I guess. Well, that's okay. I don't have any hate in my heart for the Steelers. I love Mike Tomlin, but I do not like Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see. We will see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started and talk to Lulu. Hello, Lulu. Lulu, go ahead.
I am dead and I'm asking this question using a voice reader, so my answers to your questions might be a tiny bit delayed because I'm using a live voice-to-text translator to watch the show. I am going to try and be as quick as possible, though. Thank you for the help.
Sure.
I applied for citizenship and have an interview in 2 weeks. I came as a baby on a green card through my dad, and I am applying under the 10-year rule. I have been in the country 30 years. About 10 years ago, I was accused of shoplifting by a store and arrested based on the staff's accusation. Because of the value of the item I was accused of trying to steal, I was charged with felony larceny. That case was dismissed after I completed community service because I was advised at my public defender at the time that was the best outcome. I did not plead guilty, and it was not a formal pretrial diversion program, but an agreement that my lawyer made with the prosecutor. I did the 25 hours of community service, and then the case was dismissed. That is my one and only arrest. I don't have a license, so no traffic tickets or anything like that ever. I did file taxes late in 2020 and owed some for that year, but I had a payment plan and I'm all paid up now. I have an attorney who helped me file the citizenship application, and she says that I don't have anything to worry about because I was not convicted. I have been researching online though, and some websites say that community service is a conviction from immigration purposes for crimes of moral turpitude, so I am a little worried that I'm not getting the best advice. My interview is coming up and I'm really scared that I will be detained for my criminal record. I've asked my attorney what she will do if I'm detained at the interview, and she just keeps saying I don't have to worry, that won't happen. I wanted a gut check to confirm if I am getting correct advice from my attorney or if I should try and have another attorney help me before I go to my interview. It's hard to find an attorney who can sign in my area, rural Maryland, who can attend the interview with me, which is why I have not changed attorneys. Am I just being paranoid, or should I be worried? If I am detained, what should I do next? I don't think my attorney is prepared for that outcome. Any advice you can share is appreciated.
So thank you, Lulu, for the call. I don't know that I've ever had a voice operated person talk to me before. So can you respond to things that I ask?
I can.
Okay, great. So there's an old saying in America, which is just because you're paranoid doesn't mean that they aren't out to get you, right? So I think you are right to be concerned. And I can't say yes or no that you're going to be detained, because it depends on every state and every statute as to whether or not the shoplifting charge was a crime involving moral turpitude or a fraud charge. So I think that it's one thing for your lawyer to tell you, oh, yeah, sure, don't worry about it. It's a very different thing for a lawyer to put in writing and say to you, yes, it is safe for you to go to your naturalization interview. Yes, you won't get deported. Yes, you're safe. You see, I think you can see and feel the difference, which is why you're asking the question.
If I am detained, what should I do?
Well,
Is
I don't think
something
that.
I should ask my lawyer for? Also, I did Google it, and it is a crime involving moral turpitude. My lawyer says it's not a problem because no convictions.
Oh, well, I don't think that's correct, because just because the prosecutor and a defense attorney work out a deal and the case gets dismissed doesn't mean that it's not a criminal conviction for purposes of immigration. Remember, immigration is always looking to deport someone. So that statement isn't actually accurate. They can't say that for sure. They can't 100% know for sure that this is the case.
That's what I saw also. That's why I'm so worried. How can I know if it's a conviction for immigration purposes?
So somebody, either when you entered into your plea, or certainly before your interview, or certainly before you filed, should have researched all that and said, or concluded that it's not a deportable offense. So how much money were you talking about?
It was a not guilty plea. My attorney did not research that, I don't think. It was $300.
And do you know what the maximum possible sentence was?
No, but I know it was a felony larceny charge.
Yikes. Okay, so that's serious. So if it was a federal larceny charge, that has me concerned. So here's what I would say. Actually, I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'll tell you what I think. You said that you live in a small town in Maryland, and I guess my question is the lawyer, is all the lawyer does immigration, or do they do other things?
Yet, going through the Baltimore office. And yes, they only do immigration.
Okay, well, that worries me that they don't treat what happened as a conviction. I don't know. They might be right, but I don't know for sure. So I think that if I were you, if you're not if they won't put it in writing, like I would send them an email today and say, hey, look, I've been asking you about this problem that I had, and you told me that it was safe to apply for citizenship, and you told me that I have nothing to worry about, and you told me that I'm not going to be taken into custody. Please confirm that in this email so that I have it documented that these are the things that you told me. And then if they won't do that, then I think you need to hire a different attorney to do that for you, and you may need to withdraw your N-400 to give their...
signing lawyer in my area.
Well, who cares about your area? Who cares about your area? Your area doesn't matter. That was the point I was trying to make, is what you need is an immigration lawyer in Baltimore or DC. If you live out in the sticks, there's only going to be one or none immigration lawyer. So that's, immigration's federal. You could hire an immigration lawyer from Los Angeles or London. Like I got a case that was filed by an attorney from London the other day. So the fact that there's no rule that says that you have to use an immigration lawyer in your town, you just need someone who can handle interviews in Baltimore or DC. And it just so happens that we have an office in DC. So if you want us to do it, we can. But don't feel like you're stuck with this lawyer, because you're not.
Okay, I will also look at that. If I get detained at the interview, what should I do? Also, how to retain you to help.
Yeah, so I think Huli showed up, everybody. So Huli's here. Very nice of her on a Sunday. I don't know why she's here, but that's very nice of her. Huli, do we have Lulu's information? I think we do, because I think Lulu tried to get on the show last time, right? Yeah. Yeah, Lulu, we can reach out, okay?
Yes, I did. Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Lulu. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. That was interesting. I've had calls like that before at work, but never on the show before. How about that? You never know what you're going to come across on the old hacking immigration law. All right, we're getting rolling. We got Peter, my son's citizenship and complicated widow, coming up next. Peter, hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm well. Are you inside a plane or something? It sounds like you're in a storage bin.
I'm just in my apartment, which is a casita, like a detachment from the main house. I don't have a lot of furniture.
Yeah, I think you need some carpet in there or something. Hey, before I forget, everyone, as I predicted, the Jets lost to the Steelers by 2 points. So sucky Jets starting off their season 0-1 as usual. All right, sorry, Peter.
No worries. Can you hear me well, though?
Yeah, it just sounds, there's an echo or something, but it's fine. It's no big deal.
Okay. My questions are about a potential VAWA case. Can I just tell you briefly about my marriage, and maybe you can tell me if this is a VAWA case or not?
Yeah, sure.
Well, first of all, I've received lots of threats of deportation, not directly from my wife, but from her mom. But what my wife does is to minimize the problem. She told me that don't make a big deal out of it. That's just the way her mom is. And by the way, this is a little background information. My wife's been living with her mom for all her life. Like, we've been married for 3 months, but my wife's still living with her mom. And her mom is the kind of person who doesn't want to share her daughter with anybody else. Doesn't matter if it's her friends or her other family members. So she's been sheltered for all her life. Her mom loves watching women getting raped on TV. So that's kind of the environment that my wife was raised. Her dad was never around. So her mom is kind of like a crazy person. And since we're married, I've become the biggest enemy to her mom. So her mom's been telling me and my wife, you either get the divorce or I'm going to get you deported. And now I feel stuck because I'm scared. And I've mentioned this to my wife. Should we just separate? Because I don't want to get deported. And especially there's been difficulties going on in your marriage. So every time when I mention annulment or divorce, my wife would say something like, I don't want to live anymore. I want to commit suicide and stuff like that. So I just feel like I'm stuck, Jim. And also, I think my wife also doesn't really like men, like honestly, because her last relationship was with a woman. And so far, we haven't had any sexual intimacy, which is like, I don't know if this is going to be forever. I don't think I can handle that. But every time if I ever initiate something with my wife, like she would accuse me of sexual harassment. Like she would make fun of my genitalia. Like she would go around the church with her mom saying false things about me. Like I'm just using her daughter for a green card. I'm just using her daughter as a sex slave. I'm just using her daughter as a servant. And none of that has happened. So it's just something that can potentially, for a while, I mean, I have other stories too, but I don't want to take too much time from you.
So Peter, first of all, I'm sorry that you're going through this. It sounds like a crazy house, a crazy situation that you're in, right? So, tell me your immigration history.
Okay, so my first entrance was in 2014. 2014. My last entry was in 2019, and I had been a F1 student for over 10 years, and I just recently lost my student status, and I've overstayed my visa for over 200 days.
How did you lose your status? You graduate or OPT ended or what?
I was getting my master's, and I had about 2 semesters left. Thank you for asking that, Jim. Actually, I was going to complete my master's degree, and we were doing long distance. By then, I wasn't even married yet, but my wife got into like a depression, and she told me that she had suicidal thoughts. So I pretty much just gave up on my student status just to be with my wife.
Did we talk about her before?
No, I never mentioned this to her before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you said to me that whenever you try to initiate anything intimate, that she acts like you're sexually harassing her, that makes me really worried that she's going to call the cops and said that you tried to rape her or something, right?
Yeah, and I did confirm with her, and hey, can you just clarify this? And I had to, like, this is kind of like a joke. Like, I had to record her, like, I'm asking her, like, I was asking her, can you just clarify that I didn't do anything out of your consent? And in the video, she said I didn't. So maybe I can use that to protect myself in the future, because I'm afraid to initiate anything right now.
Yeah, I'm worried about her calling the police and then withdrawing your case and then trying to get you deported.
Well, I don't think she's going to file anything because her mom's been saying, if you're going to sponsor him, I'm going to kill myself, you know? And that's been like the main theme in our relationship too. Like, if you're going to get married, I'm going to disappear. Like, if you're going to do this, I'm going to do that. That's what's been from her mom forever. So I don't think my wife's going to sponsor me at all, just due to the fear towards her mom.
So there's nothing on file right now?
Nothing.
Okay. So I have a proposal for you. I don't think you're going to like my proposal.
Go ahead.
You need to disappear and never speak to either of them again. Hire a lawyer and file for annulment. Any interaction you have with either of them after this moment sets you up for big trouble. Because all it takes, if you watch this show for very long, or if you've heard people call this show, all she has to do is call the police and say something, and you're toast. So I believe if you were my son and you told me this story, what I would tell you is come home, do not talk to her, do not talk to her, have no interactions other than by text from this moment forward. Every interaction you have with her is a threat to your ability to stay in the United States and your ability to not be in jail.
Right. Yeah. That's what I've been worrying. Like, I don't want to get deported for sure, but I also don't want to get in jail. Like, there's been lots of men who have been falsely accused of sexual harassment. So, yeah. Okay.
And you're getting close to a 10-year bar, right? So 300 days over.
Yeah.
So you got to think, I mean, obviously you're never going to get an immigration benefit out of this relationship. I don't know that it rises to the level of a VAWA. You'd still have to prove the marriage, but I think if she's been living with her mother the whole time, proving up the marriage itself would be really hard. If you were my son, and I don't know what country you're from, but I would, if I was your mom or dad, do your parents know about this?
Oh yeah, they want me to get away from this girl as soon as possible. Like, they don't care about if I'm going to stay in this country or not.
Yeah.
Like, but I have this attachment. I guess I still have this kind of love or compassion. Like, I feel my wife is just like a wooden child.
Walk away. It's not your job to fix. You cannot fix it. You can't. It's a crazy, dysfunctional, and I'm not a psychiatrist or anything, but this is completely dysfunctional, and you can't fix any of this, and it's a huge, huge threat to you.
Right. So with that, like, I heard if someone threatens me to get me deported, then I can potentially protect myself for filing a VAWA case.
I think the sound doesn't sound like a winning VAWA case to me.
Okay. What if her mom becomes physical one day, slaps me in the face and stuff? I mean, she would do that. She almost did it.
If you're listening to my advice, that won't happen.
Okay.
Do you live with her? Or do you live with the two of them?
No. Well, I rented an apartment like 3 minutes away from their house just to, provide convenience for my wife. But she hasn't moved in with me yet. Her mom doesn't want her to.
She's not going to. You should never speak to these people again. I'm 100% serious.
Okay. Then what should I do, Jim? Just to stay in the country and remain undocumented? I mean, I almost got my master's.
Well, you didn't.
Yeah.
I think I would move out of that apartment. I would move to a different city, and I would just move on with my life.
Okay. So there's no other way for me to adjust my status.
No. The VAWA stuff from the mom doesn't count. That's not going to carry the day.
Okay.
So it would be only the stuff that your wife done, and so far it just sounds like she's nuts.
I don't think she's an evil person, but yeah, I guess it's been difficult. Yeah.
I'm sure, and we don't have to call her evil for her to call her unsafe for you.
Yeah.
Good luck, Peter.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, buddy. I can't tell you how many situations we've had where parents' refusal to separate themselves from their children has led to real problems in marriages. We've had that on the show many, many times. And of course, this sounds like on steroids. On TikTok, we have, he ain't going anywhere, Jim. His freedom is not as important to him as his green card. Well, I think he's starting to dawn on Peter. UFam says, not our friend UFam, but UFam says, how long does an admin closed asylum case take to terminate after filing? Oh, that could be anywhere from a month to a year. My son's citizenship question. Hello.
Hi, Jim.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you for everything that you do. I'll try and make this as quick. Okay, so my son is 18 now, and when he was 13, he went to Jamaica for almost 8 months. That was in 2020, and then he came back to the United States in August of 2021. went to Jamaica in 2020, November of 2020, and came back August of 2021 or around that time. So my question is, how do I find his travel records if he's a green card holder? And how do we prove that he did not abandon his green card?
Because you're planning on applying for citizenship for him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when was well, how many trips over 6 months has he had since he got his green card? One?
Just that one. He hasn't left the United States since.
And as we sit here today, do you know the day he left and the day he came back?
I know the day he left, but it's uncertain of the day he came back. I didn't buy the ticket.
There's no way for you to find that out?
I'm trying. I was looking for his I-94, but there was nothing coming up because he was a green card holder.
And if I asked you, could you get within 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months? What do you think?
I know definitely he came back in August,
Okay.
about the first part of August.
So if we're conceding that he was gone more than 6 months, I think you just put out the latest or the biggest amount of time that you think he was gone, right?
Yes.
So then after that, you have to wait 4 years and 1 day because you're not going to win. You're not going to win on whether he abandoned his residency. They're going to say yes.
Okay. So, but he has been in the country for 4 years and more than a day.
Since that long trip?
Yes.
So then he's okay to apply.
Yes.
Now, if you want to try to explain why he was gone and document that he wasn't abandoning his residency, that's good, but you don't have to do it to win, right? So he can still naturalize because that 4 years and 1 day is sort of the forgiveness approach to being out of the country for too long.
Okay.
So it doesn't hurt. I would do everything humanly possible to figure out the day he came back. And then if I think he came back between August 15th and August 30th, then I'd put August 30th. And then I'd say around August 30th. And then say, look, we waited 4 years and 1 day from August 30th, so we're good to go for citizenship.
Okay. That's good. And how would we prove good moral character if he was a very sick child. He had sickle cell and all of that, so he couldn't do like community service or anything. He's just like from school to home. So how would we prove good moral character in his case?
Does he go to church or school or anything?
He goes to school.
Yeah, I would just get some letters from his teachers to say he's a good kid and he does what he's supposed to. I don't think you need a lot. If he doesn't have any criminal stuff, I don't think you need a lot.
No, he has no criminal record or anything like that.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Could we get like letters from his doctors and all of that?
Sure.
To prove?
Sure.
Okay then. Okay, thank you so much. You don't know what you've done for me. Thank you.
Good luck. Let us know, okay?
I will. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Complicated widow case. Hello.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
I'm well.
Look, I got a really complicated case, so let me start from the beginning.
Okay.
So I came in 2015, June, as a J1 student. My J1 visa expired in September 2015, and then I applied for asylum in February 2016.
Mm-hmm.
The case has been pending. I have never attended the interview.
So what was the date of entry?
June 15, 2015.
And asylum within 1 year, but the J was over by then, right?
Yes, the J1 expired in September. I applied in February.
Got it. Okay.
And then in 2019, as I had asylum pending, I traveled to U.S. Virgin Islands for a day. And on the way back, I was stopped by DHS and questioned for why I left the country. So I explained that I had no idea that, I'm asylum pending, la, 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 la. And they said I had three options. First is to be deported immediately. Second one is to be detained. And then the third one is to be released with a court date. So I was waiting there for like 5 hours. And then they got a letter from ICE saying that they can release me. And they scheduled court a month later in October 2019.
Okay.
So in 2019 October, I went to ICE. I showed up at the door. I gave them my paperwork, and the officer said, "Well, you're not on the list. You're gonna get notified when the new date is scheduled. Right now, we got nothing on you." I said, "Okay." So then in 2023 December, I got married with a U.S. citizen,
Yep.
and everything was good. We prepared to file for I-130,
Yeah.
and then she got killed in a car accident.
I'm very sorry.
Thank you. Thanks.
That sucks.
So yeah, and then I called, lawyer at the time. I explained everything, and then he said, "Well, we cannot file anything just because you have that NTA with the ICE." So I was like, "Okay." Then I called another lawyer for consultation, and the other lawyer said, "Well, you know what? If NTA has never been filed, you can apply it because your case should be still with USCIS."
Yeah.
And I checked my status with ICE, everything, and it says no case found.
Yep.
So a month ago, I've been waiting that case that I sent I-360 and I-485. I sent
When?
a year ago.
A year ago?
A year ago, exactly September 2024.
Okay.
And it's been pending.
Yeah.
Well, a month ago, I received a notice to appear for my interview for asylum. 10 years later.
Oh, geez, I forgot all about that. We've had a lot since then.
I know it's been a lot going on. So I sent them a letter saying, well, later on things have changed. I got married with a U.S. citizen. Unfortunately, she passed away. And I asked them to reschedule my asylum case until my I-485 get resolved, which they agreed to. They rescheduled, and I have not received a new date for my asylums. Well, however, I received a new date for my I-485, which is going to be next month.
Okay.
So, I'm really worried about that NTA that I got from, traveling to Virgin Islands, even that's never been filed. And the reason why I filed for asylum was LGBTQ support. My country is really homophobic. And then I said, I attended gay prides as a support of LGBT community. I've been attacked and injured. So
not that you were gay.
no. I've never said that I'm gay. However, bisexual. I've had both partners in my life, but I've never stated that I'm gay or homosexual. I said just I was support of LGBT community. But when that happened in Virgin Islands, the officer asked me, what is the reason why I stayed past my visa when it expired in 2016? And I said, during my J1 program, I met a guy who promised to marry me. We moved together and then we separated, which is true. That really happened.
Okay.
So that's the whole history. So I'm just a little nervous, what I can expect to that I-485 interview and how do I prepare myself, because there's a lot of things they can ask me.
You have a thick file, my brother.
Yeah, I know.
Here's something that I've heard you sort of jumped past, and I think it might be a big part of your interview.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about the marriage to the U.S. citizen. How long did you know each other? How long were you actually married?
So we worked together. So we met in January 2020, and then we started dating September 2022, and we dated for a year and 2 months, and then we got married. The marriage was really nice. We did it at the beach. Her family was there. A lot of friends. We got engaged at zoo. We attended, NBA games, went to football games, traveled a lot. The marriage was wonderful.
So how long were you actually married, though?
8 months.
Okay. And if I were to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, during those 8 months, were you able to establish a lot of joint stuff?
Oh, yeah. 10 out of 10. So we had bank accounts, credit cards, lease, travels, car insurance, life insurance, a lot of photos with family, with friends. Pretty much everything.
And did anybody do a EOIR FOIA, an immigration court FOIA, before filing?
No, I did a month ago, but I have not received anything yet.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna get it before the interview, honestly.
The interview's in what, 2 weeks, you said?
In 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Is the immigration court far from you?
I would like 4 hours drive.
I think I might go there sooner rather than later and make a request for your file in person. Just see if you can get it. I think that would make me feel better. I think that the NTA was probably defective. It sounds like it was issued by ICE counsel when you were sitting there detained, coming back from the Virgin Islands. So it sounds like it never really made its way to court. And when you run your number in the immigration court system online, what does it say? Nothing?
Nothing. And then even so, like for the first 2 years, I was calling them all the time just to make sure. So you know how you call them and then you hit 121 or whatever. One day I hit the wrong number, and somebody answered the phone and said, "Well, this is the deportation officer." And I said, my name is X, Y, and Z. This is what happened to me. I'm just checking if I have a court date. And he's like, "Well, you got a wrong number," and he got really mad. And then I said, "I'm really sorry. I just want to be responsible. I'm doing what I think is right." And he said, "You know what? That's true. Let me check it for you." So he pulled up his computer. He pulled up my file. And then he says, "I do not see anything with your alien number."
Okay. I like your case. I think you're okay. I like everything you've told me. I like.
So, okay, that's good because I know there's a lot of
Except
moving pieces here.
Except that you went to the U.S. Virgin Islands. I wish you hadn't done that.
Had no idea. That was my birthday. There was 11 of us. All my friends are U.S. citizens. So, on the way back, everybody go by and,
Right. No, I get that. But for everybody watching, if you don't have permission to leave when you have a pending asylum case, that can be deemed abandoning your asylum case. So, okay. No, I like that. I mean, you're going to bring a lawyer to your interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this case.
No, but that first I had one lawyer and everything was ready to file. And then he says, "Well, you know what? You have this NTA. I don't want to file I-485. We're just going to file I-360, wait to get approved. That's going to take like 17 months. And then you'll have to do another medical. And then we have to file another I-485. And I was like, "Why is that?" He's like, no. You got to get first I-360 approved. And that's when I changed the lawyer.
Yeah. I would say that it was a little bit risky, a little bit aggressive to file the 45 with the 360, but based on everything you've told me so far, I think it's okay. I think you're okay.
That's good. Because like she was really young. She was 23 years old and she passed. It was a hit and run. The drunk driver just killed her on a scooter. 2 a.m, just left her. It was just like heartbreaking. I had all these reports. I'm still going to courts, for that guy. I got police reports. I got, voicemail that police called me that day that I was emergency contact. Our marriage was real. And, I think that's the part we're going to prove easy. That's not going to be a problem because,
Okay.
I got letters from her mom. I got letters from her family, all this.
Yeah. Anything else? Any like crimes or anything that makes you inadmissible? Anything?
I don't think so. The only thing, like I was pulled once. I had my driver license expired and I had no idea. And there was a day later, I got pulled by police and then they sent me to court. And then I went and I got a new driver license and it got dismissed.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that should not be a problem. But I got I got good position. I got letters from the high school that I help kids, when they finish school to, get them help with career.
Good.
I work for like a charity kitchen. Every Thanksgiving, I cook myself and the business that I'm associated with. We cook food for like 500 homeless people in my area. I work
Nice.
for the library, like helping elderly people, with technology and stuff. So I got all these letters too.
That's great. How much older were you than your wife?
8 years.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, will you call me back and let me know how it goes?
I will appreciate, like I've been listening to you for a long time and, your advice make me feel better. I'll
Awesome.
definitely call you back in a month, and hopefully with the good news.
Hopefully, the card will be on its way. Thanks for the call. And
Thank you,
again,
Jim. God bless you. Thank you to you
very
and
much.
everybody. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Well, this is the Immigration Answer Show. We're at the halfway mark. We're 45 minutes in. Your New York Jets are 0-1, predictably enough. The Lions and Packers are playing today, so that'll be a fun game. I think the Vikings and the Bears play tomorrow, so that'll be fun. I don't know if you saw Robert's Los Angeles Chargers beat the Chiefs, but that sure was fun. I was putting together furniture for Yusuf watching the Chargers win. They really finished that game well. Yeah. All right, Manny's up next. Hello, Manny. Manny's on mute. Mute Manny.
Hello.
Hi, Manny.
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good. I really appreciate you for what you do.
My pleasure.
Right.
What's
Yeah. Just to give you a backstory, I came into this country in May of 2017, and I got married to a U.S. citizen in 2018, around February, and I filed for the I-130 and the I-485, and
Sure.
and I got it's lasted up to from 2018 up to 2021. I got 3 work authorizations. At that time, they used to give 1 year work authorization, and long story short, that application was denied. And I got a lawyer. I was in between 2 things. I was either thinking of filing for the VAWA, or in between that time, I did a divorce in 2021, and I got married again to another U.S. citizen, somebody I met when I was at work, and I put in the application again. We got married then in 2022, so I put in the application again in August of 2022, and we were invited for an interview in 2023 May. We went for the first interview. The interview went very well, and the officer was like, they might probably make a case or invite us for another interview. And I didn't hear from them. But although I got my work authorization for 2 years, so I was working. I got a job with the New York City. I work in IT, so I was working. And in March of this year, we were invited for a second interview. And both of us went for that interview in March 11th. And the lawyer I went with, I hired an attorney, and the lawyer told me that it's probably going to be what they call a stock interview.
right?
Where they're going to separate us. And so we myself and my wife, we prepared very well for that interview. So when we got on that day, we got to the interview, and we did the first set of the interview where we met an officer. They interviewed both. Primarily they were interviewing my wife. They asked her most of the questions. They didn't even ask me no question at all, because the invite was for the I-130. So after that, the officer was now like, oh, that is, she doesn't have any. She was checking her computer and said she didn't have any indication for us to have like an interview for me for the I-485. So apparently we're preparing for like a stock interview, but we didn't have a stock interview. We just had a 30 minutes interview, and the officer said we are good, that we could go. If there's any other information, they're going to get back to us. That was in March of this year. So now I just got another letter addressed to my wife inviting us for another interview, and that's going to be happening. That's supposed to be happening on Thursday, which is September 11th. Now, my wife, she's kind of now very scared because she's asking the question, why are we going for the 3rd time? I spoke to the lawyer, and the lawyer assured us that it's happening. Probably they just want to now they want to do the stock interview or that. But my wife is now a little bit, she's now saying she's not going to go for the interview. But I'm still in the process of talking with her. We are still having a conversation. And but as we speak right now, as at now today, she's still a little bit adamant about going for that interview because she's like, why are they inviting us for another interview? I believe she's just afraid or something. So I tried to tell her that you have nothing to be afraid. She's a citizen. I am the one that so. But why I just wanted to know, I just want to know what options are available for me. What do you think are my options if she doesn't go for this third interview with me? Or why do you think they're inviting us for an interview the third time? Is it because I'm filing for the second time? Or, I was just a little bit confused here.
Do you watch this show very often?
I watched it 1 or 2 times, but I recently started watching it though. Somebody just told me about it and said I should watch it and ask my questions. So
Perfect. So what country are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
When you lived in Nigeria, you went to the embassy to get a visit visa to the United States?
Yes, I had a B1, B2 visa.
What was the purpose of your visit? Why did you want to come visit?
I visited to attend a friend's. I visited to visit a friend. I had a friend of mine that I came to visit, and
when you went to the embassy to get the visa to visit your friend, were you married or were you single?
I was single. I came in single.
What'd you say?
I was single. I came into the country single.
So you've never filed any visa application in Nigeria in which you said you were married?
No, never.
Sure?
The first time I filed for a visa was when I was getting the visa. Very first time.
You were 1 for 1, and did you fill out that application yourself, or did someone else fill it out for you?
I filled the application myself.
Okay. Do you still have access to that?
I can check to see if I have access to. Yeah, I think I should have access, but I filled it myself because I did a printout of it before when I was going for the interview.
The reason I asked if this show very often, and the reason I asked about your status before you came to the United States is because, and Manny, I'm not exaggerating, at least once a week for the last 2 years, and I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating, I get a call from a man from Nigeria who got a visit visa to the United States, married person number 1, filed for a green card. Marriage number 1 doesn't work out. Man from Nigeria says, should I do a vow? Should I do a new marriage case? Should I refile with this spouse? They end up ditching that first spouse, marrying a second spouse, filing for a green card, and getting 1, 2, or 3 USCIS interviews, the last of which is always a Stokes interview and withdraw the immigration application that they have filed for their spouse. Right? So we hear it so often on this show that we actually call it the Nigerian playbook. Like it's that often that we hear that or that we see that, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I can hear you. It's breaking a little bit, but I heard what the last thing you said.
Sorry. Give me a second. Let me see if I can switch over to my phone. I don't know if that'll be any better. Let me see. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me better? I don't know. Let me go back. Right. Manny, is that better?
Yeah, it's better now.
Sorry, bro. So
yeah.
We hear that so much on this case. I mean, I've been asked your exact fact pattern at least 300 times. I'm not exaggerating. So if me one immigration lawyer with a TV show has been asked that once a week for 3 years, how many times do you think USCIS sees this case? They think you're marrying whoever you can to stay in the United States, and they're going to separate you and scare your wife and say, we know this is fake. We know he paid you. We know that you committed immigration fraud and you are going to jail if you proceed with this case. Here's a nice handy form. All you have to do is sign it. And if you sign it and withdraw his I-130 case, then you won't go to jail and we'll deny him his case. And that'll be the end of that. So that's what's coming on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
That's what's coming on Thursday. You should 100% bring a lawyer. And you said, Jim, what happens if she doesn't show up? If she doesn't show up, they'll probably give you a notice to appear in immigration court.
So what would be your advice for me now based on your stories you've heard?
I think you're screwed. I think you're not getting a green card in the United States. There's been too many Nigerian men ahead of you who've done exactly what you just did. I think that somewhere out on the internet, it says how to do this. I think there's somebody teaching men in Nigeria how to come to the United States and stay. And everything that you've just said is the exact script that we have seen.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, good luck. Thanks, Manny.
Thank you.
So does that mean that, anyway, never mind.
It's okay. Go ahead.
No, she was just wanted to ask her. She's the one that she was just wanting to
Yeah, no,
ask.
I'm just saying, like, if that's all they're gonna ask, then what's the big deal? Why does it have to be so?
Well, okay. I'll tell you the other part too. They might do more than just try to scare you. The other thing that they'll do is they're going to ask you 30, 40 questions about your life with Manny. So they're going to say, when was the last time you guys went out to dinner? When was the last time you had sex? What is Manny's favorite soccer team? What color does your wife have any birthmarks? When is the last time you had a guest over to your house for dinner? Right? So, and then they're going to ask Manny to come in and see if all of Manny's answers match.
Okay.
So
Yeah, but I had a cousin of mine that had the same issue, and he went for a Stoke interview, just like you said, just exactly what you said, and
Yeah.
he was able to get his
to me, the really interesting thing that's unusual about your case is they called you in for a Stokes interview, and then they basically didn't do it, and now they're calling you in a third time. And what that says to me is they needed more time to investigate. So I bet they've gone and talked to your ex-wife, and I bet they're building a case. They've talked to your neighbors, or they're going to talk to your neighbors. So I think the net is closing in. So I think you guys should bring a lawyer with you, and be ready for anything on Thursday.
Would it help if we got a letter from like family members or?
Sure. That never hurts. Yeah, but it's got to be. It can't just be, oh, I know Manny. He's a good guy. He should get a green card. That's not going to fly. I think they're going to ask you all about the first marriage. I think it's going to be a tough day.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye, guys. Yes, the side character popped in there at the end. We always like to hear from the side character. I thought when Lulu was typing that there was a side character too. Anna is here. Hello, Anna.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for having me on the show.
Sure. How you doing?
We're good. So I am a U.S. citizen, and in the last 2 months, we've had 2 immigration interviews. One in July, that was a marriage-based interview. That went fine. My husband was pending asylum. So no hard questions. We were separated. It was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We live in Wisconsin. And the officer told us we should expect a decision within 30 to 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
It's been over 6 days now, and we have not heard back. In the meantime, we had our asylum, in August, mid-August. They called us for an asylum interview. So I went there as an interpreter. I'm his wife, and they let me translate. And turns out the officer asked my husband a question, why on his visa application, because he previously applied for a visa, he said that he was married to another person on the visa application, which he lied about his marital status on his visa application.
Sure.
And this came up on the asylum interview, not on the marriage-based interview. The other officer never asked us that question. So turns out that was his friend. Somebody misled my husband into saying that he was married in order to obtain a visa. Somebody told him that he doesn't qualify for a work visa to the United States unless he says that he has ties like kids or a wife back home. So he ended up not getting that visa. Either way, he didn't get it. And I was just wondering, since both of these cases are showing up as pending at this time, are we expecting the worst, meaning like a denial on our marriage-based case and the other one, or what do you think?
It sounds like the asylum officer was more thorough than the green card officer. Fair to say?
Yeah. So this was in Chicago. The asylum officer was in Chicago.
So when you went to your asylum interview, did you mention to that asylum officer that you were his wife and that you had a pending green card application?
Yes, she knew exactly, and she saw everything. And
Did she know that you'd already had just recently your interview on the marriage-based case?
yes.
Did she ask you if the topic of his fake prior marriage came up in your green card interview?
No, not at all.
So we don't know right now, because what I'm wondering is, I mean, if I'm the asylum officer and I know you have a pending green card case based on marriage, and I figure out that he says he was married before and therefore ineligible to get an I-130 approved because he's married to someone back home, then first thing I do as soon as you leave the room is call that officer and say, hey, before you approve that green card, just want to make sure you know that he's actually married back home.
Okay, so they're both pending right now. Is there anything that we can do, like maybe we can provide some sort of certificate of marital status for him back home while it's pending? Or we explained to the asylum officer that he was misled into saying that, and actually somebody else completed the visa application for him.
Yeah, but he knew. Did the officer establish that your husband knew that the application was being submitted saying that he was married, regardless of whether?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's not a defense. That's him. He signed it. It's his case. It doesn't matter if his attorney told him to do it, a fake attorney to do it, a drinking buddy told him to do it, or a cousin. None of that stuff. It doesn't matter. It's his DS-160. It's no one else's.
Yeah, he never got that visa, and wondering if it's still a problem.
Oh yeah, it's a huge problem, because what they're going to do to especially screw him, it isn't that they're going to say, oh, you lied to us, you need a waiver. They're going to say, our records show that as of such and such a date, when you filled out your DS-160, you were married to Mary Adams back in the home country. And because you were married to Mary Adams, please produce a copy of the divorce decree. Otherwise, we're going to deny your I-130 based on your marriage to Anna because you were not legally free to marry. That's if they're, I mean, they might just deny it and say, no, this can't be approved because you weren't free to marry when you married Anna. So then they're forcing you to say, well, that was fake. I lied my way into the United States. I made a misrepresentation. Then you need a waiver. He needs a waiver. And they might try to deport him while the waiver's pending.
Yeah. So then Okay. He has his work authorization approved. I don't know if that matters, but
Absolutely nothing.
yeah. And then another question, why were they asking so many questions
Wait,
about
we have another problem too. So on the 485, they would have asked, have you ever given any U.S. government official any documents that were false, fraudulent, or misleading in order to obtain an immigration benefit? I'm sure on his green card application, he said no and didn't tell them about the lie to get into the country, right?
right, yeah.
What embassy?
Moldova.
Yeah, I think your boy's in trouble.
Okay. And then another question, they were like focusing a lot on his previous military training. They were asking a lot of questions like, do you have any gun training? Like to what extent do you have any military training? I don't know. Why would they ask so many questions? They were really pushing on that.
Does he have any?
He did, yeah. He used to work for law enforcement back home, but
So I would say that 95% of the time people say no to those questions. So whenever they do say yes, then they get a lot more questions about that. So that's not unusual. That's the least of your concerns.
okay. So you think we're expecting a denial and we should get ready for a waiver?
No, I think the question should be, Jim, should we? Did you have lawyers for either of these?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Did you have a lawyer for either of these cases?
No.
So I think the question you should be asking me is, Jim, should we get out in front of this, notify USCIS now that we've spoken to a lawyer that we need to change some of our answers on the 485 and fess up to the misrepresentation, because they can really screw you by not agreeing that you misrepresented, but just forcing you to divorce an imaginary person, which is impossible. So there's a strong argument to be made that even though your interview is over, that your husband should notify them that he lied at the embassy and that he made mistakes on his 485, that he lied to the U.S. government and said he was married, and that he wants an invitation to file a waiver on your behalf and see what they say. And then start working
how
on
long a waiver would take to get approved?
I would say two. I mean, someone told me the other day they got one approved in 2 months, but I think it's usually about 2 years.
Oh God.
And there has to be hardship to you. What hardship is there to you? Do you have health issues, mental health issues, financial issues? You know,
We have a baby. He's only 1 year old, and I really count on him.
I mean, they deport people with babies all the time. So that's not, it's got to be more than that. It's got to be like you have some serious health issues or something. Yeah. Carolina says 3 to 4 years for a waiver, and I think they'll deport him. What they say is they're not going to wait for waivers and shit like that to deport someone or not. So this is a huge mess.
Okay, so our chances are minimal.
How long has he been here?
2.5 years now.
Yeah, that's not good. How did he come?
He came on parole. He came on through the parole in 2022.
This brother's screwed, man. This is not good.
And if he goes home, he gets a 10-year deportation.
I mean, if he ends up in deportation, you got to explore other things like voluntary departure and things like that. But I mean, he's got a misrep. You're going to need that waiver at some point. So I don't know. This is a big old mess.
Can we file a waiver now? Is that something?
First, you have to admit that you lied. You haven't done that yet. So the steps, but then, admitting that you lied, then they're going to be like, hey, let's go get this guy, right?
Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll wait and see what happens. Everything shows pending, decision pending. I assume the asylum will get denied because of this.
Asylum doesn't have to get denied because of that, but I just think they're gonna. I can't imagine a scenario. The Chicago Asylum Office and the Chicago USCIS office are pretty close. I have to think that they would talk to each other.
Yeah, I would think so.
All right. Good luck, Anna.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. There's an old saying, I don't know if I can do it right. Oh, what a twisted web we weave when at first we do deceive. I mean, these cases that start with a bad entry just can lead to really, really big problems. All right. Hooley's here. Isn't that nice of Hooley to be here? Thank you, Hooley. Asylum case dismissed by prosecutorial discretion. Hello.
Hi, Jim.
Hello.
Hello, Jim. Good evening. My name is Grace.
Hi, Grace. That's my mom's middle name.
Oh, that's good. So, Jim, I just want to say thank you for everything you've been doing.
Oh,
I
sure.
personally really appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thanks.
So my asylum case, both of me and my husband's asylum case was dismissed due to prosecutorial discretion.
Yeah.
And right now we are both out of status. So the only thing we have right now is just the work authorization, which is going to expire by 2028.
Okay.
Now, we're thinking of going back to reapply for asylum, but I keep on seeing a lot of, cases. Oh, don't apply for asylum now because of what's happening. Yeah, I'm going to be transferred to the immigration court again, and I don't
Why do you
really
want-
know. We don't know what to do.
Why do you want to apply for asylum?
Like I want to reapply for the previous asylum I applied for the first time. I want to reapply again because the first one was dismissed through prosecutorial discretion.
Well, so how did you enter the United States?
I came in through B1 B2 visa.
And did you also apply for the asylum office before you went to court?
Oh, sorry, that was breaking. I didn't get that.
Sorry. When did you apply for asylum with the asylum office before it got sent to court?
Yes. When I applied for my asylum, that was in 2018. I was called for an interview within 3 weeks. I was called for an interview. So I went in for the interview. Everything together with my husband, everything went well and all. So I was I used to I started a flying program back then in my home country. So when I came into America, I wanted to like continue with the flying program. So the school I went to were like, oh, Grace, your your passport is gonna expire very soon, so you need to renew your passport. That's the passport, my country passport that I came in with, and they were like, I need to renew and all. But then I already gone in for interview with the asylum officer, and everything went on well. So after like 7 months, I didn't get any.
Hello? Hold on a second. They already denied you asylum once. The asylum office already denied you asylum, right?
Yes, he already denied my asylum, and I went through the courts. I went through the individual. Okay.
I know. My point is, I think you can file another asylum case because you've already been referred to the court.
Yes.
So I think filing an asylum case does nothing except raise your hand and say, come get me. They've already, so they're just going to start deportation again. If that's what you want, then raise your hand.
Oh my God, no.
Right.
So what do you think? Do you have any advice for us? Like, what do you think we can both do right now?
Lay low.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's no benefit available to you. What benefit is available to you?
So I'm just gonna graduate BSN next year, and that's just all. And my husband just had a master's in cybersecurity, so I don't know if we even qualify for any, maybe like EB2 or EB3 or something. I don't know.
You're long out of status. You can't do any of that stuff. None of that stuff is available to you.
Oops. Oh.
Okay.
All right, Jim. Thank you so much.
Sorry. Bye-bye. All right. Some people are saying my connection's not good. I could just end the show a little bit early, but I wanted to read one thing to you guys. I got a review. So if you guys want to help us out, sometimes we get reviews like this. I want to read this review to you. Let me see how do I do this. Share screen. Here we go. No, that's not it. Here we go. All right. Jim, I got a 1-star review from Johan. Jim Hacking of Hacking Immigration Law LLC betrays the ethical core of his profession through his relentless criticism of the current administration's unwavering commitment to enforcing immigration laws that prioritize national security and the rule of law. His sanctimonious rhetoric, steeped in emotional pleas about the hardships of visa revocations and deportations, deliberately disregards the necessity of combating fraud and criminality, revealing a character that values personal acclaim over the integrity of the legal system he vowed to uphold. Boasting about lawsuits against USCIS to hasten case decisions, Hacking exposes a shameful preference for exploiting legal loopholes over respecting the rigorous vetting processes designed to protect American citizens, a stance reeking of opportunism. His selective outrage bemoaning the consequences faced by international students for visa violations while ignoring their breaches of law or conduct unbecoming of U.S. guests further unmasks a duplicitous nature that favors sympathy over accountability, falling far short of the impartiality expected of a seasoned attorney. Rather than condemning the administration's efforts, Hacking should be praising its resolve to ensure those with integrity earn the privilege of residency. His actions attacking lawful enforcement, deflecting with emotional narratives, and litigating for headlines mark him as a lawyer who undermines the ethics of his profession, more concerned with self-aggrandizement than strengthening the system he claims to serve, and clients seeking a trustworthy advocate would do well to seek a lawyer whose commitment to justice outweighs their thirst for notoriety. How about that? That is one heck of a review. I think I wear that review as a badge of honor. I think I review that view as a badge of honor. What do you guys think? It's very well written. I do think it's only 2 sentences though. The part that I liked the most, there was lots that I liked. The part that I liked the most was, let's see, where are they? Hold on. Reviews. Oh, darn it. Oh, hey. So that was for the Chicago one. So you guys got to help me out. My favorite one was something about I'm supposed to be what did he say? Selective outrage. That was funny. Duplicitous nature. Falling far short of the impartiality expected of a seasoned attorney. Since when is an attorney supposed to be impartial? Has anyone ever heard that? I think we're supposed to be zealous advocates. Zealous advocates is what we're supposed. Look, I'm Two-Face from Batman. Let's see. Oh, can I do it? Two-Face. I love that review. We will ask to take it down. It's lots of bad stuff. Oh, ChatGPT helped with that. Yeah, probably. But it was fun to read and fun to get all worked up. The total BS. So if you want to help us out and help me bury that 1-star lead, they put it on our Chicago office, which we're trying to get. We need 19 more reviews. So if you go to reviewhackinglaw.com, I'll probably read that one a couple more times and share it with my team. I don't know what to make of it. It certainly can come down because they're not a client and they just don't like my politics. But there you go. All right, let's go to Jay. Hello, Jay. Jay,
Hey Jim. Hey Jim, how you doing?
Good. What's up?
So Jim, I'm in Canada. So I came to Canada to visit my brother. So for some reason, I did lost my green card, but I did apply for the I-90 for replacement of green card. So, and I called the Toronto CBP Border Patrol to explain them my situation. They said I just have to bring the confirmation of the replacement green card in my email and my passport, they could let me in back in the US. So my question for you is that something doable or not?
If somebody says that you can come back, you take them up on that offer. You get back here as fast as you can. If you think you have a path, you go for it right now. You don't wait a day. You don't wait 2 days. You come back right now.
Yes, on Monday. My flight is leaving tomorrow. Monday at 12.
Good. Yeah.
All right. All right, Jim. Thank you.
Good luck. Let us know how it goes, Jay.
Sure.
Bye, buddy. I mean, lawyers have a duty to the law, which is true, but you're allowed to show your own personal views. I don't agree with your side of the aisle, but you seem pretty fair and unbiased when it comes to the law. Well, thanks, Michelle. I appreciate that. All right. That was Jay. Combo I-751 and N400, one of our favorites. Hello.
Hello, Jim. I'm back. I talked to you on Friday, actually, and I haven't been able to sleep since I talked to you.
Oh.
And it was because you asked me, I told you that I have a combo interview this month, in 2 weeks, actually.
Yeah.
And so you asked me because I said that I came here in a B1 and B2, and I overstayed, which is clear, stated on the I-485 and the I-130.
Yep.
But you asked me about the work authorization, if I disclosure there. So I came home that same night, and I saw that I put no.
That on your 765, you put no about what?
No, on the I-485, I put no on if I work without authorization.
And you have.
And I have. And so since then, I was like, oh my God, when will Jim come back? Because I really have to talk to him.
Hey, you can always email me, info@hacking. That's fine. Just email.
I thought about that too, but I was just waiting, and I saw the message. Mm-hmm.
So right now we're thinking that you're currently pending 751 or your N400 or both. Say no, I never worked without authorization when I did. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically, because on the N400, I just listed from when I became a permanent resident. So that was in 2022.
Yeah.
So just from there to now, I put everything that I did. But before that, no.
Okay. So I don't have those forms in front of me. So are you saying that on the 751 and the N400 both have a question that says, have you ever worked in the United States without authorization?
No, none of them does. Just the N400 have that you have to provide a list. You have to provide a list. But since I'm doing under a 3-year rule, the instructions mentions that I have to say the 3 years.
Right.
You know what I worked in the 3 years. But I'm just concerned if that comes up. I don't know.
So the unauthorized work was more than 3 years before you filed your N400?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I don't want to make you worry about more stuff, okay? I think are you ready? I think the bigger question is when you filed for your green card, when you filed the I-130 and the 45, I know for sure they ask about have you ever worked without authorization? Did you say yes or no on there?
I on that one, that's my concern. We put no.
Oh,
and obviously I didn't have on that I didn't have a lawyer, just somebody that fill out paper. And I remember that I told her, are you sure that we can put no? She said, yeah, that's fine. It's gonna be forgiven anyways. And I'm like, well, why didn't you put yes and that's it?
Yeah.
So that's my question. What should I do? Should I bring it up on my own? Should I wait?
Let's see. Get off this call with me now. Talk to Huli, give her your cell phone number, and I'll call you when the show's over, which is in 6 minutes.
All right.
She's got your number. I'll call you in 6 minutes. She'll Slack it to me.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll wait for your call.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, Huli. Let's go to Carlos. Hello, Carlos. Oh, camera off, bro.
Yeah. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I just had not a quick question, but so far, I'm currently in Juarez for my consular process. My wife, my citizen wife, petitioned me. I did enter with no inspection, so I had my 601A waiver approved, got our appointment, and had my final interview on August 26th. Right there and then, he did say I was approved, and just to wait about a week at most for my passport to be delivered at the center location for the CAS at the CAS. However, a couple of days later, I did check online, and it said refused. I did reach out to the visa center, however, not much help. So I did go in person onto the information window. The officer was able to look into my case, and she said that everything looked fine. It is just showing refuse because it was waiting on a security clearance, such as, and I did look into it, apparently the FBI, DHS looks into it, but as far as she knows or she's able to see, the only thing missing is just the typical hearing back from the last agency. And well, yeah, the officer said I was approved. I've been waiting for my status to go from refused to issued, as they've been telling me you were approved. And we're just waiting on that last little hiccup. Other people have said the same thing happens. However, just wanted to hear your take if this was usual, or we have sent a few inquiries just to maybe push it along or let them know, we have to, if we could move it along. But I would love to hear your take.
This is one of the things I hate about 601As is they can still slow walk your visa, and people think they're going back for a weekend and picking it up, and it's hardly ever that easy. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it isn't. So, so the interview was about what, a month ago?
It's going on now 3 weeks. This Tuesday, it will be 3 weeks since my final interview.
Yeah. So I would say, I hate to say this, my friend, I would give it 90 days. And if 90 days go by, call me back, and I think we have to sue them to get you your visa.
Okay, understood. So 90 days at most. And do you think inquiries or anything before that would help?
Try all that in the meantime. That stuff's free. Just try that for now, and then let me know in a couple months. Hopefully you won't need me, but if you do, we can help, okay?
Do you think is just a clearance or just them slagging along, or is there actually just...
No, I do think they're doing lots of extra scrutiny on letting people back in the United States. So it's probably legit, but it's also everyone sitting on their ass.
Okay. I did have one little side question. After going through my DS-260, I did notice my lawyer mistakenly put this was back in 2020, that I did not attend, or there's a question on higher education. I did graduate from a California university back in 2018. And I can't recall the question specifically, but I think it does ask about if you've ever attended university, and he mistakenly put no. Don't know if that's just a big issue or if it might be related to that.
I don't think that would have impacted whether or not you got the visa, so I don't think that's a big deal.
Well, great. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's nothing else but waiting.
I hope you get that visa soon, brother.
Thank you so much.
Bye, buddy. All right, that'll do it for today's show. Remember, if you guys want to help us bury that mean old lead from Johan, review hackinglaw.com. Otherwise, go watch some football, have fun with your family. We're going to go out to dinner, I think, because we're all too tired to cook. And thanks to Huli for saving the day, as she so often does. I appreciate it. All right. We'll be back tomorrow at noon Central tomorrow, episode 903. Huli, you going to be here at noon tomorrow? I know sometimes you have your manager meeting. Okay, cool. Noon tomorrow Central. We'll be back. Thanks, everybody. Bye, guys. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.